Multiparadigm Data Science with the Wolfram language. Section 3, Get to know your data. In this last segment on exploratory data analysis, we look at some of the statistical tools that can be helpful in developing a preliminary understanding of the data. While visualizations are cool to look at, numbers play an important part in our understanding of the world around us. Tukey's 5-number summary, minimum, maximum, median, and the first and third quartiles, provide a concise summary of the distribution of observations. Since these are order statistics rather than, say, the mean, the 5-number summary can be used for ordinal features as well as features representing interval and ratio measurements. Let's revisit the Fisher Iris dataset that we explored visually in the first segment of the section, Get to Know Your Data, but this time let's look at some of the descriptive statistics for the features. Here are the mean and standard deviation for a single variable, that is sepal length, for the Setosa class. This table visualizes the information for all three classes for different types of descriptive statistics like mean, variance, median, etc. These can also be computed for more than one variable, in this case sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. Here are the descriptive statistics at a glance for all four variables across the three classes. Among other numbers that can be useful in understanding the data, we have frequency counts that can tell us about the number of samples of a particular type. And we also have Pearson's correlation coefficient, which measures the strength of the linear relationship between two variables. While scatterplots can show correlation visually in two dimensions, calculating the linear correlation for multivariate samples can be helpful, especially when we'd like to use these numbers for further analysis. For the Fisher Iris dataset, it seems that the features 3 and 4 show strong linear correlation, while features 1 and 2 do not. As Hans Rosling said, it's true that the world cannot be understood with numbers alone, but he did preface his quote saying the world cannot be understood without numbers. Hopefully, the statistical tools we looked at in this segment will allow you to gain a better understanding of your data, along with the visual explorations in the setting of a multi-paradigm project workflow. Ideally, as we wind up EDA, we should be able to answer the following questions satisfactorily about our project. Do we have the data as needed for the planned analysis? Is there enough of it? Does the data seem to be accurate? Are there obvious errors? Is the data missing something? Is the data relevant? Are there outliers? Are there some characteristics of the features that attract attention right away? Here is a checklist that can be helpful whenever we have a new data set and are trying to navigate the explore stage of the multi-paradigm project workflow. If you have some data, try to visualize it in feature space in 2 or 3 dimensions. Either use pairs of raw features or project all features to lower dimensions. Create scatterplot matrices to look at pairwise relationship between the variables. Plot distributions of all variables. Start with a single distribution for a single variable and go on to joint distributions of pairs of variables. Overlay plots and graphs to compare distribution shapes to histograms. Look for deviations. Visualize clusters to identify outliers and also to look for obvious errors or gaps in the data plots. Plot time series data and identify trends. Reach out across disciplines for visualization tools that may lend a different perspective on the data. Last but not the least, generate summary statistics for each independent variable or feature and also look at pairwise relationships or correlation between the variables. Successful EDA while exploring the data collected can help identify user stories to make sure the downstream analysis has a real purpose. It can help formulate the right questions, provide clues about what algorithm to use down the line, and allow tweaking of the multi-paradigm project workflow to include the right set of tools useful for answering these questions.